A sudden shaking of rock in the Earth's crust. Earthquake. It is the release of energy in the Earth's crust that causes the ground to shake.
Imagine you're sitting in a quiet room, and someone suddenly slams the door. The room shakes for a moment, making you jump. This is similar to an earthquake, where stress builds up in the Earth's crust, just like tension builds in the air before the door slams. When the stress is suddenly released, it sends shock waves through the ground, causing the Earth to shake, much like the vibrations you feel when the door slams shut.
The underground point where an earthquake starts. Focus. The focus is the exact location beneath the Earth's surface where the earthquake begins.
Imagine you're trying to find the source of a mysterious noise in your house. Just as you might trace that noise back to a hidden spot, perhaps under the floorboards or within the walls, scientists pinpoint the origin of an earthquake beneath the Earth's surface. This underground starting point, known as the earthquake's focus, is like the hidden source of the noise, where the initial rupture occurs, sending vibrations through the ground just as a sound would ripple through your home.
The point directly above the focus of an earthquake on Earth's surface is the epicenter. The epicenter is the spot on the Earth's surface right above where an earthquake starts underground.
Imagine you're at a party and someone accidentally drops a glass on the floor, causing it to shatter. The point where the glass hits the ground is like the focus of an earthquake, where the actual movement and energy release occur. Just as the sound of the shattering glass is heard most clearly by the people standing directly above the spot where it fell, the epicenter is the point on the Earth's surface directly above the earthquake's focus, where the seismic effects are usually felt most strongly.
A seismic wave that vibrates rock particles in the direction that it travels. Primary wave. A primary wave, or P wave, is a type of seismic wave that compresses and expands material in the same direction it moves, quickly traveling through Earth's crust during an earthquake.
Imagine you're at a packed concert, and everyone starts to move forward as the main act begins. This is similar to a primary seismic wave because just like the crowd pushing forward, it causes the particles of rock to move in the same direction that the wave itself is traveling. In this analogy, the concert goers are like the rock particles, and the forward surge of the crowd represents the primary wave that pushes everything in its path forward, illustrating how energy propagates through the Earth during an earthquake.
A seismic wave that moves the ground up and down. Secondary wave. A secondary wave, or S wave, is a type of seismic wave that shakes the ground perpendicular to its direction of travel, causing up and down or side-to-side motion.
Imagine standing in a line at a concert where the crowd is so eager that they start to push and pull, causing you to sway up and down with their movements. This is similar to how secondary waves, or S waves, in an earthquake move the ground up and down as they travel through it. Just like how the crowd's energy causes you to move without you having direct control, S waves transfer energy through the Earth, causing the ground to oscillate vertically, much like your body does in that concert line.
An energy wave caused by an earthquake. Seismic wave. A seismic wave is a vibration that travels through the Earth when the ground shakes.
Imagine you drop a small stone into a calm pond and watch as ripples spread outwards from the point of impact. This is similar to how seismic waves behave during an earthquake, where energy is released and travels outward from the quake's origin, much like the ripples from the stone. Just as the stone causes waves in the water, the energy from the earthquake generates waves that move through the Earth's crust, with both scenarios illustrating how an initial disturbance can propagate energy through a medium.
a record of seismic waves produced by a seismograph. Seismogram. A seismogram is a visual record that shows the waves of energy moving through the earth during an earthquake.
Imagine you're trying to decipher a muffled conversation happening in the next room. Just as the changes in volume and tone give you clues about the intensity and emotion of the conversation, a seismogram records the subtle and intense vibrations of the Earth's crust to reveal the details of seismic activity. In this analogy, the walls between the rooms are like the Earth's layers that seismic waves must travel through. The muffled conversation corresponds to seismic waves, and the seismogram is like a transcript that captures those waves, helping scientists understand the conversation happening beneath the Earth's surface.
An instrument that records seismic waves. Seismograph. A seismograph is a machine that measures the shaking of the ground during an earthquake.
Imagine you're trying to figure out which of your neighbors is playing loud music through the vibrations you feel in your apartment walls. This situation is similar to how a seismograph works because it detects and records the vibrations caused by seismic waves traveling through the earth. Just like you sense the music vibrations to identify where the sound is coming from, a seismograph senses seismic waves to determine the location and intensity of an earthquake, with the vibrations in your walls acting like the seismic activity that the seismograph records.
The shaking during an earthquake, which makes wet soil act like a liquid, is called liquefaction. Liquefaction happens when the ground shakes and waterlogged soil loses its strength, causing it to flow like a liquid.
Imagine trying to walk across a beach with a bucket of water, only to have the sand shift beneath your feet, causing you to spill the water. This is similar to how the shaking during an earthquake can make wet soil lose its solid ground characteristics and behave like a liquid. Just as the sand's instability makes it hard to balance, the vibrations from an earthquake loosen the particles in wet soil, reducing friction and allowing them to flow more freely, effectively turning the ground into a liquid-like state.
A huge wave caused by an underwater earthquake. Tsunami. A tsunami is a series of large ocean waves created by the displacement of water, often due to underwater earthquakes.
Imagine you're carrying a tray full of water glasses, and you suddenly trip over a small bump in the floor. Just like the water in the glasses might spill over the edge due to the sudden jolt, a tsunami occurs when an underwater earthquake displaces a large amount of water. The bump represents the seismic shift beneath the ocean floor. The tray is akin to the ocean surface, and the spilling water mirrors the massive ocean wave that spreads outwards from the disturbance, creating a tsunami.
A break in Earth's crust along which rocks move. Fault. A fault is a crack in Earth's surface where sections of rock can slide past each other, causing earthquakes.
Imagine you're trying to fix a broken zipper on your favorite jacket, and as you pull, the teeth separate unevenly, causing the sides to move apart. This scenario is similar to a fault in Earth's crust, where a break occurs and the rocks on either side shift as if they were the unaligned zipper teeth moving past each other. Just as the zipper teeth misalign and cause the sides to slide, a fault is a break in the Earth's crust, allowing the rocks to move and shift, much like the jacket's fabric moving along a misaligned zipper.
The force of an object pressing, pushing, or pulling on another object. Stress. Stress in science is the measure of force applied to a material that causes it to change shape.
Imagine trying to fit too many clothes into a suitcase for a vacation. This is similar to how an object's force presses, pushes, or pulls on another object. Just as the clothes create pressure inside the suitcase, causing it to bulge and stretch, an object exerts force on another, leading to stress and potential deformation.
A seismic wave that moves on a surface, it causes both up and down and side-to-side movement. Surface wave. In simple terms, a surface wave is a type of seismic wave that travels along the Earth's surface, causing shaking and movement.
Imagine trying to walk on a trampoline while someone is jumping on it from the other side. This situation is similar to a seismic surface wave, where the ground you stand on moves both up and down and side to side, much like the trampoline surface swaying due to the jumper's movements. Just as the trampoline surface undulates in multiple directions, causing you to lose balance, seismic surface waves travel along the Earth's surface, creating complex movements that result in both vertical and horizontal displacements.
The strength of an earthquake. Magnitude. In science, magnitude measures the energy released by an earthquake.
Imagine you're at a party where the volume of the music keeps fluctuating, making it sometimes hard to hear your friends. Just like how the volume of music can range from a quiet whisper to a booming roar, the strength of an earthquake varies from a gentle tremor to a violent shake. In this analogy, the volume of the music represents the earthquake's magnitude, with the quiet whispers akin to minor seismic activities and the booming roars symbolizing powerful, destructive quakes.
A measure of the intensity of and damage caused by an earthquake. Mercalli scale. The Mercalli scale measures the effects and damage of an earthquake on people and buildings.
Imagine you're trying to figure out how severe a car accident was just by looking at the damage done to the car. The Mercalli scale works similarly by assessing the intensity of an earthquake based on the visible damage it causes to buildings and the ground. Just like a more severe car accident leaves behind more extensive damage and is easier to assess, a higher intensity earthquake on the Mercalli scale results in more noticeable destruction, allowing us to gauge how powerful the seismic event was.
A scale of the energy released by an earthquake. Moment magnitude scale. The moment magnitude scale measures the size of earthquakes by calculating the energy they release.
Imagine you're at a party and someone accidentally drops a glass, causing it to shatter loudly on the floor. Just like the noise and mess from the broken glass give you an idea of the impact of the drop, the moment magnitude scale measures the energy released by an earthquake. In this analogy, the glass is the Earth's crust, the drop is the tectonic shift, and the noise and mess are the earthquake's energy. The moment magnitude scale quantifies the mess to tell us how powerful the earthquake is.
A measurement of earthquake magnitude based on seismic wave size Richter scale. The Richter scale measures the strength of earthquakes by assessing the size of their seismic waves.
Imagine trying to gauge how loud a concert is just by how much your body vibrates from the bass. Much like these vibrations help you sense the intensity of the music, the Richter scale measures the magnitude of an earthquake by examining the size of seismic waves. Just as stronger bass causes more noticeable vibrations, larger seismic waves indicate a more powerful earthquake, with the Richter scale quantifying this intensity to help us understand the earthquake's true power.
An area of few recent earthquakes, but with a history of strong quakes. Seismic gap. A seismic gap is a section of a fault that has not experienced significant earthquakes for a long time, suggesting it may be due for a future quake.
Imagine a crowded highway where traffic suddenly clears up, giving you a smooth ride. But you know from experience that a traffic jam is likely just around the corner, due to the usual congestion patterns. This situation is similar to a seismic gap, where an area has been relatively quiet with few earthquakes recently. Despite a history of strong seismic activity, indicating potential for future quakes. Just as the cleared highway suggests an upcoming jam based on past traffic behavior, a seismic gap signifies a buildup of stress along a fault line, making it likely to release as a future earthquake.
A break in rock caused by tension forces, which causes rocks to slide downward. Normal fault. A normal fault occurs when tension forces in the Earth's crust pull rocks apart, causing one block to slip downward.
Imagine trying to pull apart a sandwich that's been tightly packed, only to see the top slice of bread slide off and fall to the side. This situation is similar to a normal fault, where tension forces in the Earth's crust cause a section of rock to slide downward. Just like how the tension you apply to separate the sandwich causes the top slice to shift and drop, tension in the Earth's crust pulls rocks apart, leading to one block sliding down relative to the other, illustrating the movement along a normal fault.
A fault caused by compression, which pushes rock upwards. Reverse fault. A reverse fault occurs when two blocks of the Earth's crust are compressed together, causing one block to move up over the other.
Imagine trying to fit too many clothes into a suitcase, resulting in some garments pushing upwards and spilling out as you attempt to close it. This is similar to a reverse fault in geology, where compression forces push rock layers upwards. Just as the clothes in the suitcase are squeezed and pushed upward due to limited space, rock layers in a reverse fault are compressed by tectonic forces, causing them to move and create an upward bulge.
A break in rock where the two blocks move sideways, with little vertical movement, is called a strike-slip fault. It is a type of fault where two blocks of the Earth's crust slide past each other horizontally.
Imagine you're at a crowded concert, and everyone is trying to make their way to the exits, causing people to shuffle sideways to squeeze through the crowd. This is similar to a strike-slip fault, where two blocks of rock slide past each other horizontally, much like concert-goers moving sideways with little vertical change in position. Just as the crowd moves side to side to find their way out without jumping up or down, the rocks in a strike-slip fault shift horizontally along a fault line, emphasizing lateral movement with minimal vertical displacement.
A smaller earthquake that follows a bigger one. Aftershock. An aftershock is a smaller earthquake that occurs after the main shock of a larger earthquake.
Imagine you've just cleaned up a messy room, only to discover that a small mess reappears shortly after. This is much like an aftershock, where the initial big earthquake is the major cleanup effort, and the smaller mess that follows is the aftershock. Just as tackling a big mess can sometimes unsettle smaller items that you didn't notice before, a large earthquake can disturb fault lines, leading to smaller tremors or aftershocks in its wake.